So you can see here I have a little hacksaw. I'm starting to cut and trim a little bit here. I did end up getting the grinder out again and cleaning up these surfaces so that they would meet, so they would be more flush together. So it's basically drilling and putting on little brackets like this to hold the front end together, have these vice grips to hold the two pieces together, and then I put a J-clip on the left side, drilled a hole on the right side. I'm going to put a self-tapper in there so that there will be a little bit of adjustability. I could loosen the J-clip bolt and move back and forth if I need to. So basically just securing this front end so that it's like having somebody hold it for you so it can be prepped for welding. Because I'm going to have my friend come over and he's going to weld the front end on and finish that all up when we get to that point. It started raining and I was happy to have this canopy that I had originally set up for the shade, but I needed it for the rain protection so I could keep working. So I wanted to put the hood latch on, and this is off the Sonic Blue GT I have, and it looked pretty good. I'm going to switch it out for the other one you'll see here a little bit later or in the next video, but I just wanted to get this all mocked up so I can hang the hood and see how it closes. I did have to bail some of the water off of this so that it didn't come down on the wiring harnesses and stuff. So I started to modify this bracket. This is actually part of the bumper bracket. I'll show you a little bit later here where it came from, but basically this holds on the bumper. There's two of them, one on each side, and it has two studs on it with a nice kind of flexible sheet metal. This is where it came from on the front of the fender there. Obviously the bumper was ripped off this car, and so anyway, I was able to put one stud through here and then bend it around and mark where I wanted to drill a hole in the strut tower here and have the other side come through. And that way I could just have more of a bracket and hold the front end together. So I went to the other fender because the bumper was ripped off and got the bracket, put the hardware on it. So this is that same bracket. Modified that bracket by just cutting it off so it was a sliver with the two studs. That worked out really nicely, so I did it on both sides of the car. So here's the other side. There's already a hole there. And so stuck it through and then ran the nuts on and tightened them up, and it was pretty good. I hit it on with a hammer to get that other stud through the other side, so that shows how tight it was. It was nice and firm, and that kept everything bound together nicely. So I got the socket on those nuts and tightened them down, and that held that front end pretty good. I was actually quite happy with that. Next, there's this tab on the fender here. So I cut the one off the other fender that I didn't need anymore, and I'm going to brace it right here for the two unibody rails to meet. I drilled some holes through it, and then I ran these self-tappers in there to hold it together so that lines the frame up and keeps everything sturdy. I like reusing these pieces. So this is the front area, and look at this is what the other one looks like. It's all smashed in. You can't even recognize it, but it still had the good J-clips on it, and I wanted to use those for the other pieces. So here's the fender and the hood lining up nicely, and everything just kind of hung on there. I wanted to make sure to mock this all up before I get it welded, so I can make sure that all the lines are correct, that the hood shuts and there's no big gaps, and that you can open the doors without hitting the fenders. And there is some adjustability in the fenders. You can move them a little bit, shim them, you know, stuff like that. And so it's all coming together nicely, though. I was just so happy that this front end is secured to the front of the car, that the fenders hang nicely. And this hood is actually pretty straight, even though it's busted up and cracked. And I do have my brother's other white hood to put on the car so we can have that all better and actually have somewhere to put the hood prop because the bottom of this hood's all torn off, and the hood latch stayed with the bottom of the hood when the car was in the accident. It ripped it apart from the hood. It separated the two pieces. But anyway, so basically it's looking pretty good. I'm very happy with how it's coming together, especially for what it looked like before. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Mustang content and more of this project. And remember, you can check out the rest of the playlists and the videos. I have other Mustang projects I've done, really cool GT projects, and you know, the Bullet project, and a lot of other cool playlists on the channel. So feel free to check those out if you like to. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.